All right, take two. My little boy needed his mommy. So we painted Zimba. Just for those of you that were on the last live and you're like, what just happened? Where did I go? Yes. So my name's Alexandra. I'm founder of Life with Herpes. I have had herpes since 2003. I was diagnosed with HSV1 oral in 2003 and HSV2 genital in 2011. Been living with it for many years, many decades. As you just saw in the last live, if you were on it, my little boy came in. So I am a wife, I am a mommy, and you can absolutely do these things if you have herpes. It does not get in the way of anything that, that life brings at you, right? So I'm going to tap the screen just to say thank you for the people that are on the live right now joining us. I'm excited to be live with you. I'm excited to be talking to you. I'm excited to be supporting you. I started going live about my diagnosis publicly in 2017. So when I was diagnosed in 2011, I was absolutely distraught. I was absolutely isolated and alone, and I felt that I would never get through that phase. I did. It was hard. It was a journey all on my own. And so that's why I created Life with Herpes. That's why I created the YouTube channel, the blog, this platform here on social media, all of that. That is why I have that, is because when you are diagnosed, you get your doctor gives you your results and you look at it and you're like, okay, now what? And where your doctor does a really good job at telling you about the facts, telling you about the statistics, telling you what herpes is, you now have to leave the office and go out on your own. And how do you date? How do you disclose? How do you get over the anger? How do you get over the resentment? How do you get over the distrust? How do you get over all those things? And so that's where I come in, and that's why I wanted to create Life with Herpes. So if you have been live with me before, you know I get hundreds of questions. If you are new to this, thank you for joining me. If you know somebody that needs to hear this information, whether you have a friend, a lover, a cousin, an ex, whatever, that needs to hear this information about herpes, please share my information with them. Definitely forward it, share it wherever you do that. I greatly appreciate it, and I know this person will appreciate it, because we don't want to do a disservice to somebody who needs to hear this information. Also, thank you for the follows, and of course, thank you for the hearts. So as you know, I get hundreds of questions. I answer them in the order in which they come. So if you're like, why haven't I answered your question? I probably haven't seen it yet. And also, I do my best, keep them G-rated. So the app doesn't like anything that's like PG, PG-13, rated R, anything like that. It will definitely block them for the safety of the community. Anyway, so just try and keep your questions G-rated. Have you forgiven the person who gave you herpes? I am angry and feel defective. Yes, I have forgiven him. But it wasn't easy, and it took a lot of time. Now, with that being said, I want to preface, I do not believe that time heals. People go, oh, time heals, time heals. No, it just allows more things in your life that are more present. So time doesn't heal. It's like asking this cup of tea for me to heal my pain. It's not going to heal my pain of being diagnosed with herpes, right? My anger, my resentment, or like you said, the feeling of being defective, right? This tea, it's as silly as saying time heals. So I did do work. I did work on myself, and that's where the healing began. I have my master's in theology. I'm an ordained minister. And so one of the things that I feel is really important, if you are faith-based, is pray. Put it to God, pray. If you're not faith-based, put it to the universe. Ask for help in forgiving this person. Ask for help, because the only way for you to move on is for you to practice forgiveness and responsibility. These are the two things I talk about. People ask me all the time, how do I get over my herpes diagnosis? What do I need to do? Number one, forgiveness. Forgive the person that gave it to you. If this person knew that he or she had herpes, you need to forgive that person, because let's say he knew he had herpes and didn't tell you. He had his own shit going on. He had his own journey going on, and he didn't feel comfortable. So you have to forgive him for being in the spot that he was, that wasn't capable of telling you. Now, if he didn't know that he had it, then that's very different. He didn't know. You can't blame somebody for something that they just don't know, right? So that's that. Then forgive yourself, because a lot of us will take that on and we'll take on the like, well, I should have known, or I shouldn't have gone to the bar that night, or I should have done this, or I should have made him wear a condom, or I should have used a condom, or whatever. Right? Forgive yourself. You made the decision in that moment, those moments that were best for you. You made decisions that you thought were going to make you happy. We don't make decisions. We don't go out and decide, oh, I'm going to make a bad decision today, right? Like that's just not how we think. We go out and we make decisions thinking it's going to be the best decision. It's going to make us happy. So based on what you knew when you were diagnosed, you made the best decision for yourself. So forgive yourself. That's in the past. You can't change it. In a way, it's almost a figment of your imagination. In a way, it's like poof, it's gone. Right? So forgiveness. And then number 2, take responsibility. So take responsibility for getting to this spot. I take responsibility for dating the partner. I take responsibility for not asking him to get tested before being intimate. I take the responsibility for not asking to see his test results before being intimate. I take on that responsibility, right? You don't just accidentally become intimate. It doesn't accidentally happen. There's things that lead up to it, and there are times for you to like stop. You know what I mean? I know it can get hard. I know, no pun intended, but I know you can get to the point of like, oh, well, it's too late. I understand that. But there also are opportunities to have those conversations. So, those are some things that I would recommend as far as forgiveness. So yes, have I forgiven him? I have. And here's another reason why it's extremely potent, but very, 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 very important. Like the most important thing is not wishing harm upon that person. Okay, not wishing like, oh, well, my ex that gave me herpes is out there having fun and he's out or she's out or whatever is out dating and they're fine and right? And wishing that all these things. No, because you know what that actually is? It's wishing it on yourself. Holding anger, holding resentment, holding frustrations, wishing harm upon the person that gave you herpes is only mixing a toxic cocktail for yourself. It's only mixing the cocktail. It's like the witch in the Seven Dwarfs making the poison apple and then eating it herself. Okay? So that is what it does to you. It eats you alive. The person you're wishing harm on never knows. That person doesn't know. The person doesn't even feel it. The person's off doing his or her own thing. They're off. It only hurts you. So again, forgive the person that you got herpes from. All right. And this can be a daily thing. And you may look at me and be like, Alexandra, I try. And I woke up in the morning and I was fine. I forgave this person. But by 2 p.m., I was back being enraged and anger. And that's when you have to go back, go to prayer, go to gratitude. Okay. Gratitude is something that I have overlooked tremendously in my life. And it's something that I have decided to take on daily. And what I do is I set my timer. And I set my timer for a minute or 2 minutes. And I just say like, thank you, God, for my heartbeat. Thank you, God, for my eyes that I can see. Thank you, God, for my skin, that it covers my bones. Thank you for the food in my belly. Thank you for the shelter that I have. Thank you for, a lot of times if I'm like trying to go to sleep, I go, thank you for these sheets. They feel so wonderful. Thank you for the heat in my house. Thank you for whatever. And you go through this. And if you practice gratitude, that's going to get you a lot closer to practicing forgiveness. That was my rant, guys. So thanks for staying with me. I hope you picked up something from that, because again, holding on to that anger is only going to hold you back and keep you in an Eeyore state. Okay, we all know Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. He has the rain cloud over him. That was me. I was Eeyore for 2 years, right? I had Eeyore, I was Eeyore. And staying there does not help you. Is there something that you can, again, if you're faith-based, just put your problems to God. Just go, right? If you're not, that's okay too. Put them out there to the universe. Talk about it. Ask your dog. Say, like, you need that love and compassion, all right, guys? So again, hearts. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. I'm going to get to the rest of the questions. I just was really passionate about this one in particular because I do get this a lot. I get, how do I get over the anger? How do I get over the resentment? And this is something that I'm very passionate about because I was there for 2 years. And this is something that we did a lot of talking about at the retreat. We talked about our subconscious and we talked about our minds and we talked about how our minds can keep us stuck with beliefs that are no longer helping us. So that's why you have to forgive the person you got herpes from, even if the person knew that he or she had herpes, because that person was stuck in a belief that he or she felt like, well, I just can't ever disclose. All right. So again, let me just tap the screen. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday. Round 2, as you saw, if you were on my first live, my little boy came in and just needed mommy. And so we went and colored and we painted and we painted Zimba. All right. Why do women talk about this more than men? Well, probably because more women have herpes than men, number 1. Number 2, probably just more women, like we like to talk and be more open is probably why. Is Dawn soap enough to clean the dishes? Yes. Soap, any type of soap. I understand where you're coming from of like, oh my gosh, I can't touch anything and I have to use bleach and I have to use whatever. No, you don't have to use all these things. Just wash your hands, wash your dishes, and be done with it. What are your thoughts on a possible cure? I have a lot of thoughts on a possible cure. Is there going to be a cure? I don't know the answer to that. I know that there are people working on this. I know that science evolves every single day, and I know that that people want to find a cure. Now, we have to define the definition of a cure. Is a cure a vaccine or a shot or a pill that lessens the transmission, like basically makes it so that a partner doesn't get it? That's not a cure, right? That's preventing a transmission. Is it something that basically keeps us from getting outbreaks or lessens our outbreaks? Maybe. We have to remember that a cure is a very, very, very strong word. And at this point in science, and this point where we are today, there is no cure to viruses, right? So if you look at other viruses that are blood viruses, for example, hepatitis, there is technology that can make it go dormant or undetectable in your blood, but it's still there. So I don't know about cures, but here's what I'm passionate about. Not waiting for a cure, right? So not waiting for a cure to live your life. I want you to go out there because who knows? It could show up in 2045 and here you will have wasted, 20 plus years of your life. I don't want you to waste time. I don't want you to waste your beautiful day. You will never get this moment back in life. Will you have tomorrow to do something similar? Yes, maybe, but you never get this moment back in life. And so I don't want you to say, well, I'm going to wait on dating because I'm waiting for a cure. I'm going to wait on having a baby because I'm waiting on a cure. I want you to go out and live your life. You're saying hepatitis C has been cured recently though. So there is some sort of treatment. I have a good friend that has Hep C and there is something that makes it go undetectable in your blood. I don't know if that's quote unquote a cure. Does that make sense? I think a cure is a very strong word. Okay, so is herpes 1 just as bad? I would say herpes isn't bad. Let's not go bad, good, evil, good, angel, devil, whatever. Let's just say herpes is herpes. HSV1 and HSV2 can both be transmitted orally or genitally. So you can, if you have oral herpes, you can transmit it to your partner by going down there on your partner and you can transmit it that way. So they're not good or bad. HSV1 is just far more common. And so because it's more common, people don't say, they're like, oh, well, I have the good kind because it's just so much more common. It's not always associated with a taboo stigma. Best way to tell a new partner. I would say decide what's important to you in a relationship and where you're at in a relationship. Is it something that's going to be casual or is it something that's going to be more of a partnership? If it's something that's more of a partnership, then I would wait until you're really ready to be intimate. Get to know this person. Go out, have ice cream, go on dates, go watch a movie, go over to this person's house, have the person over to your house. Do all those things that you would do to get to know this person and then decide if you're ready to be intimate. A lot of relationships start out hot and heavy and like 3 weeks later they're over and you may have just like dodged a bullet type of thing without ever having to have the conversation. So when you are ready to have the conversation, I think it should be something that's very open about, hey, I like you, you like me, I like where this is going, I want to be intimate with you. Let's talk about our sexual past. Let's talk about getting tested. Let's talk about, What are we going to do to protect one another? Are we going to be monogamous, or is this non-monogamous? What are we doing? And once you feel like you're on the same page with this partner, then that's when you have that conversation. If it's something that's super casual and you're like, this is DTF, like I'm just DTF and that's what we're doing, then just be right up and blunt. Like, you may never see the person again, right? So just, what is it that you want? How would you know if you have it? So 90% of the people living with genital herpes don't know they have it. They will never be diagnosed. You would need to, if you have an outbreak, like, it should be pretty obvious that you've had something go on down there and like, ooh, something's not right. But again, most people are asymptomatic, or their symptoms are not as common. So I would get tested. I would get a blood test from your doctor. HSV1 and 2, I was just recently looking at a lot of STD tests online, and they only test for HSV2. They don't test for HSV1. So I would ask for both and see what's going on and where you have it. How do you deal with rejection because of the status when they also have herpes, just different location? So that's your I get, you're like, dude, WTF, right? Like, you have it. I don't get it. This person, if somebody can't get over the idea that they have herpes too, but it's oral and so it's good, quote unquote good, number one, try to explain to this person that, hey, it's the exact same thing. In fact, you could transmit this to me by going down and doing things down there, and it would be an STD. It would become something. So you too need to be careful. You too should be disclosing. If the person doesn't get it, then this person has some deep-rooted belief that is not going to change. So rejection happens for 3 reasons. Number one, the person is just emotionally immature to have the conversation, just silly about it, can't have the conversation, they just can't talk about it, number one. Number two, they have a deep-rooted belief that's not going to change. I use the example of politics or religion, right? If you are liberal, you're not going to agree with the conservative view. If you're conservative, you're not going to agree with the liberal view. Period. The end. You could say, but we're both wanting the same thing. Like, we both have herpes. You have it up here and I have it down there. And it's just still not going to mesh. Like, something's blocking that. Or 3, the person's not into you. So you just have to have trust that if a person's falling into one of these 3 categories, this person is not right for you. I hope that helps. But again, just try to give examples and statistics and share the information, and just look at it as like, I'm doing a public service announcement and hope you take the information. You're saying because you're still with the person, but you have your moments of anger. Again, so if you're with the person that you got herpes from and you still have your moments of anger at that person, I would invite you to see if there's other issues going on. All I'm saying is, I know I dated someone in the past, had nothing to do with herpes, but I would get angry at him first for no reason. Like, if I had a couple glasses of wine, I would be angry at him. And there were other issues going on within our relationship. And it was just me being able to discuss it. Basically, he wasn't wanting to commit to me. And I just was like, what is going on? So if you're still getting angry at the person that gave you herpes, but you're still dating the person, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to just peel back the onion and peel back the layers in A, yourself, and B, your relationship. What's deep down there that's talking to you? You might know right off the bat, or you might go, I don't know, but I'm going to spend some time with it, and the answer will come to you. Will it come in clusters? Okay, herpes can be a lot of different things. It can be one blister, it can be a cluster of blisters, or it can be a paper cut. It can look differently on different locations, different people. Yeah, it can be different. And the blisters are typically fluid-filled blisters, not pus-filled like a zit. It's typically fluid-filled. But again, it can look different on different people. Does it come in the same spot? For me, it does. It typically shows up in the same area, but it doesn't mean that it's going to always be the same for every single person. I used to have 2 areas I got outbreaks. Now I have 3 areas I get outbreaks, and it's usually like kind of in the same area, like within that area. Does that make sense? Lots of questions about a cure for herpes. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people working on it, and I cheer them on. I think that's awesome, and I'm happy for people that are looking for a cure. That's what we need. I mean, that's what many people need. Again, back to my narrative though, please don't wait for a cure. Like, don't wait for it to be your savior. Definitely go on with your life. Why do they not consider HSV1 serious? How do you know it's safe to be intimate? So I'll answer the first question. Why do people not consider HSV1 an STD? Because so many people have HSV1 that people don't want to associate with, because it's typically oral. And so they don't want to associate with, like, oh, I have an STD. I have something that can be, oh, I don't want to associate with that, right? So if you don't have to associate with having an STD, you're not going to. So that's number one. HSV1, however, is just as common genitally as it is orally. So it is very, very common to have genital herpes with HSV1. And I wish there was more done for people talking about HSV1, because there's so many people living with cold sores, herpes, that are transmitting it unknowingly. And I feel that if they knew this, they would probably do a better job. How do you know it's safe to be intimate? So if you don't have an outbreak, and you haven't had an outbreak according to a doctor or the CDC or WebMD or anything like that, they would say if you haven't had an outbreak in a week, that's potentially safe. Again, it's up to you and your partner. What do you guys feel comfortable with, and what do you want to do going forward? Those are some things I would consider. But some things that you can do naturally to help prevent transmission would be taking supplements. I'm all about natural supplements. They are non-negotiables for me in my life. I take lysine daily. It's an essential amino acid. It's a protein that helps block the replication of the virus. It's linked in the bio for you. So I take this daily. I also take angiographis, which is also a supplement that is very potent in fighting the HSV virus. And then my supplement fell yesterday. Monolorn. I take this as well, and this helps dissolve or disrupt the outer shell of enveloped viruses, which HSV is enveloped. So these are the supplements that I take daily. They're all linked for you in the bio. My hand is blocking it. Anyways, there we go. They're all linked for you in the bio. You can check them out. These are things I take. Like I said, they're non-negotiables for me. I have a lot of supplement companies reaching out to me and saying like, hey, will you promote mine? And I'm always like, no, this is the best. Natural Cure Labs, AKA Palmera Health, the best out there. So they're all linked for you. Okay, so I have like a bunch of questions. Guys, thank you. I'm going to tap the screen just to say thank you for joining me. I appreciate you joining me and asking your questions. I appreciate you being communicating. I see people responding to one another. That makes me so happy. That's what a community is all about, and that is why I created Life with Herpes, as far as creating an environment that people feel comfortable and people feel safe expressing what it's like living with herpes. I don't know if you guys know, I do have a herpes community. It is private. It is off social media. It is called The Secret Society. I have it linked for you if you want to join it. It is awesome because we have 8 monthly calls that are live. So we have 8 calls a month that are live with people from all over the world, all different age groups, all different basically walks of life living with herpes. And it's great because we are able to ask our questions specifically about us, or we are able to support one another in this community. So I think it is the best thing out there since sliced bread. I wish I had it when I was first diagnosed. This is what I needed, and so this is what I created. So it's all linked for you if you want to check it out. It's called The Secret Society. All right, let me get back to my questions. Is there a correlation between HSV2 and monthly cycles? Yes. For a lot of women, they get them either right when they ovulate or right when they get outbreak or when they get their period. So just a change in hormones for a lot of women. Something that I've heard a lot of women do, or that I have done in the past, is like boost your immune system when you are noticing like, hey, I get it 2 days before my period. Okay, cool. So I'm going to take more vitamin C. I'm going to take more zinc. I'm going to take my lysine. I'm going to take my supplements to help boost my immune system so I don't get it. Hey, I'm also going to slow down a bit. I'm maybe going to go to bed a little bit earlier. I'm going to just take care of myself. Maybe I'll take an Epsom salt bath using the recovery soak, right? That has specific ingredients to help fight herpes outbreaks, like oregano oil, geranium oil. There's also some other ingredients in here that will kind of help you chill out. So this helps with your cortisol levels. It helps calm your nervous system. So there are some things that we can do. Is it possible for a test to say positive, then not detect, then positive? So basically go positive, negative, positive, negative. It is possible for all of that. I would say if you're getting equivocal results and you've never had an outbreak, like if you've had a blister or a bump or a paper cut and you're like, but my test was positive and then it was negative, and it was like, you have it. Like, if you've had bumps, like, but if you've had blisters, but definitely talk to your doctor. But I would say the best thing in this case, if you've never had an outbreak and you're getting positive and negative and positive and negative, I would look at the Western blot test. You have to get it from the University of Washington. It's a test that they have to send to you. You have to go physically and get your blood drawn and send the vial back to UW. So the phlebotomist cannot take it. You actually take it and ship it yourself. It is expensive. I believe it's roughly, by the time you do shipping and everything, it's like $500. So this is for the person that's like, I am getting all these mixed results and I need the answer. If you're getting positive test results and you just aren't getting outbreaks, that's probably not the right test for you, right? Because you're getting positive results. Does herpes cause BV? No. BV is a bacterial infection and herpes is a viral infection. However, I would say that there could be a correlation if your body is worn down. Like if you're fighting this and like you get BV and yeast, and then you get an outbreak, and then you get a cold, and then you get BV again, then you get an outbreak. Like your body, your immune system is just shot and just can't get over it. But does it specifically cause BV? No. How many outbreaks do I get a year? So HSV1, I've only had 4 outbreaks in 20 years. So that's not very many. HSV2, I go in cycles. I'll go in cycles where I'll get back to back to back outbreaks, and then I'll go months without something. Then I'll get back to back, and then I'll go months. So I do get frequent genital outbreaks. Have I taken the vaccine? No. There is no herpes vaccine. So no, I have not taken a herpes vaccine. Stress causes outbreaks. Yes. The more stressed you are, the higher your cortisol levels are when your nervous system is like this, going everywhere, and you're in that like fight or flight all the time. Yes, that causes outbreaks. How did I get herpes? HSV1, I went on a date and my date had a cold sore and he kissed me with a cold sore when I was 20. HSV2, I was dating someone and he didn't know he had HSV2. So I got that way when I was 28. What is the main difference between 1 and 2 genitally? Really nothing. They do the same thing. They both cause outbreaks. HSV1, you're probably going to have less outbreaks than HSV2. HSV2, for whatever reason, you have more outbreaks, but really they do the same thing. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. I feel like I got through your questions. I tried to get through your questions. Tell them that the herpes cures are all scams, please. So the herbal herpes cure. So, okay, yeah, there are a lot of people that will like comment on my posts or whatever that say like, oh, thank you to God for sending me this. Here's my WhatsApp, and they send you some like herbal cure. Now, these are scams, right? I don't know where they come from. they come from another continent, I would save your money and not go there. At this point, there is no cure to herpes. So yes, thank you for reminding me. I take lysine daily. All right, guys, thank you. I appreciate you joining me. Thank you. I'm going to tap the screen as well. I appreciate all of you being here. Feel free to join me anytime you want. Something I am really wanting to get into, and I posted, as you saw, I was talking about tapping. This is something that I use almost daily to help me with to keep myself calm and to help keep me out of anxiety and all sorts of things. So it's something I really want to bring into the group. All right, have a wonderful day. Is there something specific to do daily? So I have a 21-page ebook you can download. It's called outbreakremedies.com, or it's linked for you. There will be 21 pages of it for you to go through about things to do, supplements to take, natural ways to ease the pain, natural ways to potentially speed up the recovery, things like that. So it's all there for you. All right. Thank you, my friends. I'll see you in the next video.